and this is going to be a controversial statement, but the United Nations is a Luciferian organization. You probably know a little bit about this.
Sounds really
but
good.
they believe, it's connected with Alice Bailey, the New Age, and Madame Blavatsky, and they believe Lucifer is the savior. He's like the Lucifer is the, how can I put this? He's the giver of wisdom. They believe that all wisdom comes from Lucifer. He is the light of the world. So they deny that Jesus has anything to offer, and they believe that Lucifer, who gives them knowledge and wisdom, and
this is the UN?
The United Nations.
Really?
They're Luciferians.
Really?
Absolutely.
Well, openly?
Well, they don't. I mean, they don't admit it.
Right.
But there's lots of evidence. I mean, I'm making a video at the moment about
I've seen some. Yeah.
the Lucis Trust, which was founded in 1922, which was originally called the Lucifer Trust, and it was United Nations Publishing company. It was used to publish the United Nations material. It was originally founded in 1922 by Alice Bailey as the Lucifer Trust, and it had its offices at number 666 United Nations Plaza in New York, and basically Alice Bailey was responsible. The United Nations take a lot of their spirituality from Alice Bailey and Madame Blavatsky, this New Age spirituality, which actually sees Lucifer as the bringer of light.
Yeah.
And
Oh dear.
Yeah.
It's so twisted.
And just to kind of clarify this Luciferian agenda of the United Nations, in the United Nations control room, which is the kind of the most important room on the whole planet, because the United Nations are the global government. Each nation gave up their sovereignty, individual sovereignty, in 2015, at the Paris Agreement, where the United Nations gained the rule of international law. They took over, the member nations gave up sovereignty, and the United Nations took up international law. So they can make rules now for the whole world, the United Nations, since 2015. And in the control room, where all the big decisions are made about global decisions, is a huge mural painted by a Norwegian painter on the back of the wall. And it's got some very strange imagery and a lot of communist imagery. It's very bizarre. There's some strange things there. But right in the middle of this mural is a phoenix. Okay, an image of the phoenix. So it's right at the middle. So if you consider this the most important meeting room on the planet for making global decisions with the most powerful people on the planet, a huge mural right at the center is a phoenix. Why is there a phoenix? What is the significance of the phoenix? The phoenix is an occult symbol signifying Lucifer. So the phoenix is a bird which is believed to live for 500 years, and then it burns up in flames, and it self-immolates. It burns up in flames, and the new phoenix arises from the ashes. And this is a symbol of Lucifer, because Lucifer was cast down from heaven in flames. Is that right? Of course, he cast down him.
I know he was cast
down from heaven,
yeah.
And the occultists or the Luciferians believe that. So he was cast down from heaven, and they believe he will rise. He will rise from the ashes.
Oh, I see.
And rule over.
Wow.
This is what they believe. Yeah. And so this is why the phoenix is like their emblem for Lucifer. It really represents Lucifer and him rising again from the ashes to kind of to his glory to rule over, and they worship Lucifer.
Oh wow!
And so this is why.
But he has only a short time. That's the thing in the Bible. It says he has a short time, so it's not a long reign.
I don't know
that he's got.
If they believe that, if the Luciferians believe that.
You don't want to put all your eggs in that basket.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very short.
So this is why we've seen the phoenix at prominent public events like the 2012 Olympic Games. The closing ceremony featured a huge flaming phoenix rising. The phoenix rose up from some flames for everyone to see, and so that was a kind of as a little public statement there from the United Nations that the phoenix is rising. Many people have recognised that the 2012 Olympic Games closing ceremony was like a huge occult ceremony. There's so much evidence to show that it was an occult ceremony.
It's quite blatant, actually.
Yeah, a lot of dark stuff, and people can see it for themselves. But the Phoenix was featured there, really main feature, rising for the flames. And again on the 2018 World Cup football opening ceremony, there was featured a phoenix, a flaming phoenix. It was brought out onto the field, very prominent, very significant. And the last 3 years, we've seen 3 really big films. Actually, no, one of them was, I think there was Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which came out in 2007. And the Order of the Phoenix was like a secret organization for fighting evil. But this message of the Phoenix has been put in films. And then you had Dark Phoenix, which came out last year, about a girl getting possessed by evil. So the film was called Dark Phoenix, and the Dark Phoenix is Lucifer. The Phoenix is Lucifer. He represents Satan. He represents the Phoenix represents Satan. And then again in Maleficent, which was a film all about evil. You know, Maleficent was evil, and there was a lot of evil imagery in there. Again, she was a Dark Phoenix. She was from the Dark Phoenix Fae. So in all these movies relating to evil, Harry Potter, Dark Phoenix, Maleficent, then there is the Phoenix features, because it's an image that they want to put into the public consciousness, and especially the young people, that the Phoenix is rising. In fact, the tagline for the film Dark Phoenix was, "The Phoenix will rise." You know, and this is what the United Nations are doing. They're bringing up Lucifer. They're rising Lucifer into the public prominent place, so that they want people to worship Lucifer. They want people to worship the devil.
I just understood, actually, just as you're saying, that it is because the Antichrist is about to be revealed, and that's
I've revealed the Antichrist.
Yeah, so but that's what I mean.
I mean, in the public.
Yeah, in the public. Yeah. So it's it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. And these films, perfect timing. Everything is perfectly orchestrated and perfectly timed. It's all been planned to bring about this dark age of Luciferian rule. And this is what the United Nations want. They worship Lucifer, and he tells them what to do. And this is why they're orchestrating a very dark agenda, because they're Luciferians and they're getting their orders from Lucifer. So this is the United Nations, the most powerful global government. Well, they're not powerful because God is in control. Totally, but this is the biggest governmental organization on the planet, the United Nations, and they worship Lucifer. Consider that.
Wow.
And they're orchestrating everything that is happening in society right now. They're orchestrating the whole climate agenda to make people afraid for the future, because Luciferianism or Satanism is about instilling fear. It's how it works. It's how you control people, by instilling fear and putting darkness in their heart, and that darkness then manifests in people's lives. So the United Nations are responsible for the whole climate agenda, turning people against the capitalist. That was an important part of the climate agenda, was to turn people against the capitalist system and blame it for all the supposed destruction of the planet. Blame the capitalists and make people want socialism, want communism. So that was very successful, and especially with the young people. And so here they are now orchestrating the whole coronavirus thing, the WHO, the World Health Organization, which is orchestrating this whole lockdown, all the stuff that's coming through the media to make people think along certain lines. It's about controlling people's psychology with information and shepherding them into certain pathways of thought and thus behavior, shepherding their minds to think certain things and to generate a desire for the things that you are going to bring in. So if you generate a desire for a global paycheck, like a universal income for doing nothing, if you make people enjoy being at home and just say, hey, you can stay at home forever. Would you like that? Would you like to stay at home forever and we just give you money and you don't have to work? People are like, oh yeah, this is Christmas, come early, And so that's what's happening. They're generating this, but people don't realize that they're being pulled into slavery. When they just accept these things, they just accept their universal income, their free money from the government, and they just comply with the government, what the government how the government wants to tailor their lives, and the more they just say okay, the more they're being pulled into slavery. And it's the worst and darkest slavery. It's cruel, it's horrific, it's evil slavery. And the United Nations are orchestrating this from top to bottom, and they are Luciferian.